Well, okay, so now we just have to go straight to the portal into the abyss or whatever the sign says. Can't say I feel like really checking a lot of these places, honestly. Although it would be kind of neat if there were no enemies, wouldn't it? Honestly, like, it would be awesome, not because I don't want to deal with them, but the ambience right now is, like, way better than the clusterfuck that we just went through. This, like, this moment of calm is great. Oh, I saw it. They're here. No loud noise. Except for me breaking glass. Just the oppressing atmosphere. The darkness of town. And see, this wasn't in the original. I can praise stuff when it's good. The thing with the original when you're in this party is that, like, the enemies aren't... I thought that was an enemy for a minute. I was gonna get mad. The enemies are, like, aggressive enough that they'll, you know, they'll come at you, but you can still run through them, so you're not really being bombarded. Looks like we can't really go into any of these buildings, which, again, is fine. No real reason to go into Groovy, right? Yeah, this is cool. Right here, right now. The door that wakes in darkness opens into nightmare. That's the sign. That's the thing. New tunnel. I wonder if we're gonna see more of the, what are they called? Mandarins? Are they called mandarins? Is that why I needed a wrench for that? That's silly. Do I still have the wrench? Oh yeah, we're gonna see more of them. Gonna kind of zip on right by. I always kind of like that section just because it's so, like, quick and kind of, like, bizarre. We're safe right here. We can kind of look at them. Never mind, they scream, apparently. Okay. I probably hurt or something. Hopefully all it did was, where we are. Hopefully all it actually did was just stun me. I think they used to just, like, have, like, a pokey thing that comes out of their weird, hand, mouth, lips. There shouldn't... I would imagine, or hope, that there shouldn't really be any enemies here. Because, like, I kind of feel like... Patrick Chester, son of Edward, he fought and died for the people, for liberty, and for all of our tomorrows. His memory lives on. I think we've read that before, but I just don't remember. And we can't go back out there. I feel like because even though this wasn't their special place, this was still a special place to Mary and James. Kind of feel like the idea would be that it's kind of free from the bad thoughts, you know, from the monsters, from the Silent Hill grind set. Because I'm pretty sure when you come back here at the end of the original game, there still wasn't anything in here. I didn't quite realize how wacky that gate looked. Probably not much reason for me to actually be exploring here. It's kind of weird to have, like, all the notes seem like they're about the same. I wonder if the items that I picked up here before would have stayed. Not that that really matters at all. That kind of spooked me for a minute because I forgot that was like that. Me and she. Who's she? Your wife? Thought I saw something. It's awfully dark though. I'm really actually don't really know which direction I've been to or have gone. Yo, you think those waffle cones taste good? They are probably the soggiest waffle cones ever right now. I should know. I've worked ice cream before. Interesting. Brand new scene.
Hey. Are you feeling better?
This place is different from what I remember.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as rusty
I
before.
guess things never really stay the same, do they?
Yeah, I guess not.
I don't think she's here anymore, James.
Who?
My mama? She doesn't want to see me anymore.
Why would you think that? Anyway, I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see me?
Alive, I mean.
Oh. Yeah. I better get going.
You still don't want me to go with you? If we stick together, we might just make it out of here.
Out of where?
This town. Silent Hill.
He said a name, title drop.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, you didn't happen to see a little girl around here, did you?
A little girl?
Yeah. Yeah, Angela? Are you all right? Angela?
No. Please. You shouldn't be here.
Angela, it's okay.
No, don't touch me!
I couldn't really tell just because of the way the scene was played out. When she kind of went into that state at the end there, was she directly looking at James or was she looking to the side? I could see, like, James obviously maybe triggering something there. But, I'm just curious if there was, like, something else in the area with us when that happened. Or if it was a, you know, that was alright. Kind of feel like that doesn't really add too much to anything. I guess it just reminds you that Angela's here, because we did have a long time kind of away from those characters, but I almost feel like that was better than, having an in-between like that. Because unless if there's even more added scenes, we're not really going to see those characters again until they get, a little wacky, a little intense. So I kind of feel like that, like, time apart helps to kind of, like, paint a picture that in that blank space of time, they went through a lot of shit. So having Angela vaguely being here and kind of vaguely having some issues, I don't know. Again, I don't think it's, like, awful or anything. It just, I don't think it really added anything either. Kind of wish they would have at least, well, I guess we just dug it up and said it wasn't like a wrench thing. We used a wrench already. Read it. My patient buried it here. I knew but did nothing. It made me uneasy to have such a thing near. I wasn't looking for the truth. I was looking for tranquility. I also saw that thing. I fled, but the old society was sealed. No one dares to approach that place. Now I offer you the key. If you still do not wish to stop, James, I pray to the Lord to have mercy on your eternal soul. See, this is kind of almost weird because you don't really have that through line of this being, from, like, a doctor from the hospital, because you only got all these notes in different locations. Again, small complaint, but, like, saying my patient buried this here, I don't know. Hey, we got it, though. Historical Society key. And we can just read the note again if we want to. Oh, remember, didn't I say this one looks like this would totally be where you would pick something up? But again, it is weird that we don't really have a clear sign of where we are trying to go. I think, if anything, based on what they did with Maria stopping us, so far from home. Oh, Spider-Man? That this probably would have been the perfect opportunity to try to get James to, like, recollect. Like, you could have totally blocked off and had you go back to the pier for, like, a minute. And then, like, James is like, oh, right, I want to maybe go that way. Because, like, at this point, what's going to happen? We're just going to the Historical Society, and then what? We show up, and James is like, ah, you know what? Maybe I should have gone this way. I don't know. It's weird. Ton of tiny nitpicks. What happens, though, when, you know, I like the other game a lot. The most minute things kind of stick out. I know I'm, like, circling where I've been before. I'm just trying to kind of double check everything. Looks like the gas station's... Not gas station. The, motel still has a save point, which is probably for the best to go that way, I mean. Wonder if we can get to the garage again. It'd be kind of neat if there were still no enemies nearby. I think like this is a perfect moment for something like this, and if they really went with no enemies for like this stretch, they should have. This music, the motel specifically, or just generally? If they did this whole specific stretch with no enemies nearby, they should have done this whole section like this, I feel like. And like I said, not because I don't want to do combat. Obviously, I don't. Like how that's locked, but there's like nothing really blocking that. But, I think for the mood setting, it totally works. A weird noise. That wasn't there before. Oh, the weird noise. I don't know if there's really much reason for me to actually be exploring as much as I'm trying to. I heard a gurgle. I don't know what that gurgle was. There might be nothing. Might have just locked myself into a bad ending by looking at Maria's old dress. I did not check the shed over here. I mean, it seems like this would be the perfect time to give me some stuff, right? Maybe I've been deemed too powerful. I realize how far this road leads out. Like, maybe they would have given me things, but I'm just too Gucci. This was all bonus before. I mean, obviously, might just be a good idea just to head straight where I need to go. Maybe this is leading to a bad ending because I'm not focusing hard enough on getting to where I need to go. I mean, who knows? I'd be kind of curious to see if anything... Also kind of lost in the fog here. I'd be curious to see if anyone's, like, compiled a list of maybe things that affect the ending that have changed. Because I know the stuff that I know, but I don't really know everything from this game, especially if they add certain things like those new interactions with Maria. Again, this is great. At what point did it seem like we kind of went back to, like, normal Silent Hill? And not the other world? Was this just when we went to get the phone? Because, we still had the, like, rust everywhere before. Guess we'll look at the gas station real quick. And then, go bowling. We have time to bowl. Let me in. It would be nice if at least the items that you didn't pick up showed up here. Because, you know, when the enemies showed up, I kind of was like, oh no, gotta book it. But yeah, if they just... I mean, visually, I guess they wanted to do the streets of Silent Hill. Similar to how Silent Hill 1 had it. But I would say if they, I know that place. Can't get a memory from it now. But I would say I would have liked this whole scenario a lot better if it just did what I remembered of the, coming up from the elevator, bringing you back to normal. And then, you know, the dark Silent Hill, maybe having some monsters nearby. Although I still think no monk. Where's the pizza? Oh, thank God. I thought it was gone. Honestly, would have been pretty great if it was gone. Was there anything over here? It is kind of a shame that exploring doesn't really get you anything, it seems. Because at the very least, I would have thought this would have been an opportunity to, you know, just set up before stuff happens, everything hits the fans. Because guess what? We're going into the everything hits the fans dungeon. Hey, I got a health drink though. But again, I probably just missed this. I kind of ran through here like once. Grabbed something, I think, from this one and then booked it. But it could also just be that the game registers that I have, like, enough items or something. I don't think there's much... I don't think there's much reason for me to go this way. Do you think the, mannequins are gonna plop again? I did reload that save just to check. There's no way to really... Oh, they're still dead here. I thought maybe they would have despawned and they could have done it again. There's no real way to get to them in time where the fog isn't in the way. Okay. Well, now this is it. Just I had an idea that I'm gonna save for later, but I just thought of something that would annoy me. But it's gonna be like much later. I'm probably gonna forget about it. I guess I'll say it now. In the original game, you kind of go straight from this dungeon to the next one. There is a small bit that's in between, but for the most part, it's like one thing, and then you're just there. I would hate it if they prolonged the in between more, like they've been doing with the other stuff. That's what I thought about. Okay, no chance to miss that picture, I guess. Well, this is it. Get excited. It's time to get historical. Honestly, I know you would, like, probably consider this whole area something else and not the Historical Society, but it's always just how I feel like labeling it, I guess. I guess you could argue it as kind of 2-ish sections. Or 3 if you want to count this part as a section. Yo, give me that. Might need that for a puzzle. Be crazy. It feels like it's darker than usual. Unlock the door. Who put this picture here? The new clock. God, whoever's taking these pictures is awful. They're all like blurry and what is that? Is that birds? That bird looked weird. Something about like a hawk. I thought it had like doll legs, like fleshy meat, like Silent Hill. Hey, little Baroness. Get excited for when I someday might play the Silent Hill arcade game. What a terrible place to put a telescope. Can't see shit. Lady of Light. The unveiling of one of 2 statues commemorating the local folktale. Is the other one on the other edge of the lake, or is it in the, It's neat. Is it, technically on the ritual island for that ending? Have to react to it.
It's him.
Misty Day, Remains of Judgment. Looking good, dude. A cool picture. Again, though, complaining. Having it just be the kind of front and center thing is kind of lame. I feel like there's a unknown, author unknown. Waterfront landscape. Alan Smith, date of birth and death unknown. How do you not know when he died? A depiction of the local area. The style indicates it was done sometime around the 1820s when the region was far less populated with sparse infrastructure. Why is that picture missing? Wiltz's coal mine, established around 1850, remains operational until the early 1900s. The mine played a key role in the revitalization of Silent Hill. I mean, if anything, all the history stuff that I don't remember probably showed up here in the original game. Brookhaven Hospital, 1880s. Hospital was built in response to a Great Plague that followed a wave of immigration to the area. Originally, it was a little more than a shack, but has since expanded into a full-fledged medical establishment. I think this was probably where I got the information about it being plague-related in the original game. Name scratched out, illegible. Former director of the Brookhaven Hospital. A weird picture of this dude. Also, it doesn't really look scratched out. A little scratched out. But that kind of scratching doesn't look like that deep. It looks more like it was never printed. I wonder that picture. Wonder what that means. Silent Hill Historical Society founders. Okay, give me a minute. One of the local legends in that of the Lady of the Light, the story tells of the woman who was accused and found guilty of witchcraft. Specimen, she was taken to a small island out on the lake, a minuscule stretch of rocky soil, devoid of any food or shelter. There she was to suffer a slow, excruciating death as her body succumbed to cold and hunger. However, unbeknownst to the rest of the townsfolk, there was a young man among them who, having gazed into the woman's eyes, as bright and beautiful as midsummer's moon, had vowed undying love for her. When she was convicted, wrongly as he believed, he swore that he would not let her suffer such a cruel fate. Whilst waiting for an opportunity to abscond from his beloved, every night he would sneak out and row across the lake, bringing her food and sometimes something to keep her warm. Every night the woman would stand there on the shore holding lit candle to help him find his way. But then one night when the sky was exceptionally clear, devoid of even a wisp of a cloud, the young man set out on his nightly escapade. I can't like fake not knowing words when I actually just can't pronounce half the words that exist. So I need to at least like take what I can get. As always, he would look out into the distance, looking for the light in the darkness that would lead him to his beloved. On that night, however, the moon shone so bright and so vibrant, stronger than any candle could. Seeing the light's reflection in the water, the young man was led astray. He just drowned. He rowed and rowed and rowed, following the reflective light, hoping against hope he could reach it. He did not care for his aching arms or the shortness of his breath, utterly memorized by the illusory light. When his boat tipped over, the man was so exhausted from rowing, so weakened were his arms, that he was not able to swim to shore, thus he succumbed to the watery grave. Although left alone, the woman on the island never lost hope. She kept coming out at night and kept lighting the candle. The legend says that those looking for true love can still see the lady's light out on the lake, trying to bring her beloved home. While the story is clearly meant as a metaphor and a cautionary tale, it is, to a certain extent, rooted in reality, as the area has indeed seen its share of religious persecution, such as that of... So I was kind of hoping to read that and get a little bit of a different telling of the story. And we did. I think Maria just said that it was a stormy night and it blew out the candle, right? But I don't know. Getting confused by the moonlight was kind of a lamer story in the long run. Nothing else in any of these? Little like brooch thing. And I think I looked at everything, right? Read a book here. Read a book there. Alright. Go down this normal staircase. Play the, Bowser's Stairs music. You know what would be really funny? Is if Bloober Team decided to make this one of those staircases where you have to turn around. Because, like, you know, the same thing as the Pyramid Head fight. Anyone who's familiar with the game would just kind of keep going. But if Bloober Team said, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. It'd be a fun trick. Maybe it's a real trick. Part of me, nope. Just really long stairs. Part of me was almost expecting Bloober Team to add something to kind of indicate a bit more that you are going in the right direction. So I'm almost surprised that they, I guess besides the horn blowing that you can hear, prisoner number C221. Sean's frickin' cigarettes are here. I'm looking forward to this. And by looking forward, I mean... not really. I think this has always been kind of the, what felt like the longest area of the game. And since the other maps have been longer than they felt in the original, just imagine what that feels like. I was really hoping for a save point so we didn't have to do stairs again. Also, I was hoping for a map a little bit earlier on. I would assume, if anything, this is probably pretty linear up until we get a map. Or, you know, the whole thing with the shortcuts. Crimson and white banquet for the gods. Look at those guys. They look like they're tiny and they got big heads. Death by skewering, an execution at the prison. Death by skewering or strangling. To choose his death is the prisoner's last taste of freedom. I don't really know what that banquet of the gods is doing. Toluca prison camp, built in 1862 at the camp was used to house prisoners during the American Civil War, converted into Toluca Prison in 1866. Seems a little crazy to have a prison in a small town. Over that way. I kind of thought the flickering light was leading me somewhere. Alright, very spooky place. I think it's also kind of spooky to not have a map because, right, I guess this makes sense why we wouldn't have a map. We're doing this bit. I remember seeing this. Strange. What am I looking at it for? Yeah. Oh, I have to really psych myself up. Yahoo! You know what kind of sucks about this section here? There's a couple of different ones. Maybe it doesn't suck. The well was kind of a weird spot in the original too. We'll see what they're doing with that. There's a couple of empty spots. The thing with the well in the original is you kind of had no idea what was going on until you like mashed against a wall. It was like, hey, that's kind of looks a little loosey-goosey. But I don't know, it feels a little bit less scary when you have a couple of break spots. Because you'll figure that one of them eventually is just going to be the right one. But you do have like a long while of not knowing how to get out of here. Like, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag of like, I don't love that it's not very clear how you escape in the original, but it does do what it's supposed to do in freaking you the fuck out because you don't know how to escape. I don't know, seeing 3 different breakable walls didn't really instill fear in me, and like finding 2 of them that didn't work was just like, oh well, there's another one. You know what I mean? Are we in the labyrinth bit already? Are we doing all of this before we get into like the prison proper? Or no, this is like the L. Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember the order of events too well. Which is, oh, right. I should have expected grabs. Maybe I should kill you because I don't know where to go. You're supposed to attack me again. Alright. I think there was a breakable, maybe? James, why don't you draw a map? It'll last longer. Not a very big area, it's just awfully dark. Oh, there was another door. Dang. That was my bad, because I think this hallway was, like, basically laid out exactly the same originally. Wouldn't it be funny if I was locked in here? Oh, I needed that. Spiral writing key. Oh, they're doing it! Yep. I fucked it up. It's fine, I got her anyways. Stop it. Okay. Oh, it doesn't... Well, whatever, that was the right combination. Was it just small... Actually, what was happening in here? Was it just a couple of you guys? I might have made assumptions based on how the original game did things. If it was just the small beetles and the swarm still didn't do anything, like in the hospital, then I definitely screwed that up. In the original game, the same thing basically happens, but the room just, like, gradually hurts you. I think every time you fail, you get out of the keypad part, and you take damage. So it is, like, still I need to panic and rush. But if the swarm doesn't actually hurt you, it's not really that big of a deal. And then, like, the annoyance of these guys, you can just kill them to not have to deal with it. Because that was annoying to try to solve that while taking damage and getting knocked out of the puzzle. So, I don't know. I know there was an auto-save. I almost want to try that, but we'll just move on. So it was a cool room in the original. And, you know, it depends on how it actually works. Could have still been a cool room. I guess a little bit more annoying because of the way that you got knocked out of the puzzle. I also didn't really mention it, but that was a hallway that we jumped down. Like, visually, you saw the lights. I didn't really actually pay much attention to that scene. If the, oh. Save point should be in here. I didn't really pay attention to that scene if, is that the map? Nope. Mainline menu. 1 grit with lard, boiled meatloaf, beans, bread, and coffee. In the original, that, like, hallway, I think, had a stretcher that was kind of along it to make it a little bit more obvious. I was kind of just rushing through that, complaining about beetles, so if that was there, I missed it. Alright. What's going on over here? I hope no cutscene happens. Hope I don't see an old friend. Well, that don't look like James. I mean, it could still be James, but I think if you change the jacket, it's not. Oop.
Just put the gun to their head and...
Eddie?
Oh, hi, James.
What happened here? Who was that?
I don't know. It just came at me.
Okay. So he attacked you, and you shot him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He made me do it.
Okay, calm down, Eddie. Any idea why he would do that?
I don't know. He came out of nowhere. Tried sneaking up on me in the dark. I heard footsteps, so I turned back, and he was right there.
And you could tell that he wanted to hurt you.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way he looked at me, I just had to do it.
He looked at you? I thought you said he came at you.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it in his eyes.
His eyes?
He kept looking at me, making fun of me. I told him not to, but he didn't listen.
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
You should see your face, James. I was just joking. The guy was dead when I got here. I got you, didn't I? Well, anyway, I better get going.
Wait. You're gonna go out there alone?
Yeah.
Kind of weird. There was kind of like... I want to talk about it, James. I almost feel like there was a little bit too much over-explanation happening. And, like, there was kind of a certain point where I almost feel like James shouldn't have really had much reason to question any of it. Like, if someone came up behind you during all of this, I could imagine just shooting someone. And even then, not, like, the way Eddie was kind of acting there, maybe being shell-shocked, if you want to call it that. Obviously, that wasn't the case. Obviously, we eventually got to the line of questioning where he was just talking about just looking at you. But, like, it seemed kind of weird, like, overly talked about. Nice and frozen. I mean, this whole section right here is a bit frozen over. It's a nice little detail. I guess that kind of can correlate with the refrigerator. And I did see people talking about how Eddie always has, seeable breath. Because of, how cold it is in Silent Hill. Also, I always find the, retroactively, the whole Eddie thing almost seems... Some death masks. Oh, owl for the rifle. And here I thought it would be an eagle. Oh, the rifle for the owl. You know, my train of thought just kind of wanders. Alright, this doesn't look too bad. It says first floor. Never mind. Okay, second floor. Never mind. I hate it. Why does there have to be so much? That's really upsetting. Because that's gonna be this, but then there's definitely gonna be more after this. In the original game, it was like the one big section. I think it was one floor. I don't remember it being two. Having like 20 floors seems much. I was gonna say retroactively Eddie's thing could also be almost viewed like I'm trying to defend someone that does not need defending. I'm not like really believing this, but you could almost argue too maybe it's that whole Vincent thing from Silent Hill 3. They look like monsters to you.